And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, thank you for making us a part of your Tuesday. How's it going, Ben?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Christian seems a little salty today,
yeah, what's
though.
his deal?
I honestly don't know. Maybe he dislikes Tuesdays as much as I do.
Huh. Because of the power poll? I'm working on it as we speak.
No, I'm disappointed in my hometown.
I saw this. The Scotty. I thought you were mad at Scotty. Scotty is running down Brigham City right now on the social medias.
Fill me in. I saw Scotty had some sort of incident with it.
Well, Scotty lied about someone in front of him hitting a deer. Scotty absolutely obliterated a deer while he was driving. No doubt about it. Probably mowed him down on purpose and popped some tires on the way. Now, where was he? Assuming he was driving to Logan or from Logan?
It sounds like it was on the way back home from Logan after the Utah State game.
Yeah, they beat Weber.
Westminster.
Somewhere in Sardine Canyon. Assuming maybe around Manaway, if he got towed to Brigham City.
So Scotty G maniacally driving down the canyon, trying to hit every living creature he can, just riding high off of beating Westminster, the Griffins, and pops some tires and ends up at a tire store in Brigham City. Now, this is where the story goes off the rails. And it's a slight detail that I'm not sure I understand. Scotty said he tried to sleep in his car for the night. I get it's like a beautiful fall that we've had. It's 40 degrees at night. You can't sleep in your car when it's 40 degrees outside.
Well, and I might add that Brigham City isn't that far from Bountiful. I'm sure Jenny would have gladly gone to get him. Yeah,
Brigham City has hotels or motels or whatever.
I'd sleep right outside the Maddox Steakhouse. When do they open?
I would have called Christian and said, "Is your old room available? Have Papa Esparza take me in."
And they would be willing to do so.
And they would have done it. Absolutely. That honestly would have been my first thought.
So did Scotty really hit a deer? I believed
someone in front of him hit a deer, and he said he also ran over the carcass.
Okay.
And the tire company knew that Scotty had nowhere to go. Where are you going to go? We're the only tire company.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to take you for everything you're worth. And he says they did. And he says he knows they did. And he said there's really nothing he can do about it.
Is there only one car service company in Brigham City?
No, I can think of 3 off the top of my head, and one of them actually is neighbors with my parents. So I really hope that it wasn't that one.
Well, I don't know. Tow me somewhere else. Sure.
Towing is very expensive.
Sure.
But
that's what the person said to Scotty, allegedly.
Yeah. I'm reading the snap now. All right. Well, I'm eager to get further detail from our guy, Scotty G. Yeah, that's not a particularly pleasant way to spend the evening. That canyon is treacherous in a number of different ways. You ever driven that canyon in the snow?
I have not.
I have.
Yeah, not fun.
No, it's very unpleasant.
Especially now there's a barrier, a median in the middle, so you feel a little safer, but yeah, it gets scary.
Yeah, I came down that canyon in the snow once in a 2-wheel drive Tercel.
Oh, fancy.
It was a real white knuckler. Actually, it was one of those situations where my buddy Brandon was driving, and so the rest of us in the car were trying our best to not pay attention.
All of your stories involve your buddy Brandon. Who's this Brandon guy?
Oh, he's a great dude.
Is Brandon somebody you've made up? Is Brandon your alter ego?
No.
Yeah, my buddy Brandon. I got into these crazy situations with my buddy Brandon.
He and I, we have adventures.
Evil Jake.
The only time I've been a best man is at his wedding. What?
You ever see that movie Beautiful Mind?
I have.
You know how the ending is kind of a twist?
I do.
We're going to have a Brandon situation.
No, at least I don't think so. At least I really...
You ever see that movie Fight Club?
Yeah. No. If that's the case, then I guess I've been sick for a long time.
No, it's Brandon. Jake, you've been here all by yourself.
The whole time.
The whole time.
All right. Well, I hope our guy Scotty G is doing all right. Should we call him?
I'm sure he's fine.
So is that Christian is grumpy because Scotty's throwing Brigham City under the bus?
No, I'm disappointed in my hometown for treating Scotty G
For
so poorly.
swindling Scotty G.
Well, Scotty's going to take it out on Christian, so I would be worried about it too.
So I'm reluctant to pull out the radio show card, but couldn't Scotty drop a hint like?
I was just coming back from calling the Utah State Westminster game.
And I've got to get home because I've got a radio show tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It'd be horrible if your tire company got put on blast.
Boy, this is quite an establishment you have here. I would love to give you guys some positive publicity.
Have you ever heard
payola? It's illegal.
You ever heard of Matt Gephardt? I can get him on the phone right now.
I could literally get Gephardt.
I could get Gephardt. I could get the old man too. I saw his face on a truck the other day.
Yeah, good biz.
So, I don't know. I hope Scotty fully puts him on blast.
Well, he already did.
They kind of deserve it.
He didn't name names yet.
He didn't name drop.
But stay tuned.
He just said bad experience in Brigham City, which pares it down to 3, apparently, according to Christian.
Yeah, not the only bad experience anyone's ever had in Brigham City, though.
I'm going to Google it. Tire shops, Brigham City.
Are you going to read them off? I can
sort by rankings. Just sort them by rankings.
Well, I'm assuming it's not. Well, all right. Looking at these brand names, I'm making a guess, but I'm not going to put them on blast yet. Right. But I'm making a guess. It's that one.
Esparza Tires.
It's Esparza Tires. I'm betting it's Christian's neighbor. No, we just have to look at the one closest to the canyon, right? That's probably it.
That's what I was just telling Lloyd.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
All right. You want to start with the Jazz, or do you want to start with the big football game? I thought the Jazz game was not the prettiest basketball I've ever seen, but there was a ton to take out of that game.
No, that was a very impressive win for the Jazz. That's a team that's going to win 25 games this year. I think talking about impressive wins seems a little bit silly, and I'm aware of that, but there's like growth that you're wanting if you're a Jazz fan. You want something tangible coming out of this rebuild, and the brightest spot by far is what Keyonte George has done this year, and it's not particularly close. If you want to say Walker Kessler's had some really, really good stretches over the last 3 years, I think that's accurate. But last night's win in particular felt like a true, and take a breath. What I'm saying is not what I'm saying. Uh-huh. It felt like a star victory. You can win games when you have a star on your team the way the Jazz won the game last night, which is you just have the best player on the floor. You don't have to be great. You don't have to execute perfectly. You don't have to be awesome in the first half. The Jazz weren't. They were down 10 at halftime, and they'd only scored 39 points. What was it? 36 points? Whatever it was. But when you have the best player on the floor, you have a chance. And Keyonte George was the best player on the floor last night. And he came out of halftime, and I think he had 10 points already at the half. He scores 16 in the third quarter just by saying, none of you guys are as good as I am. Derek White, you're an all-star. You're a stud defensive player. You can't stay in front of me. Peyton Pritchard, you have no chance to guard me. So I'm just going to take over this game because Lowry also can't get going. And they need me, and I'm going to do it. And I'm not just doing it on the offensive side of the ball, which, again, second place to take a breath. I'm not comparing the two. But took over a game at guard in a way I've not seen a Jazz guard take over a game in over a decade, which means he did it in a way that Donovan Mitchell never could do it, which is Donovan also couldn't shut down a player on the other end. And you go back and you look at what Derek White did offensively last night. It was 3 of 9 for 10 points, and it was because Keyonte wouldn't let him get past the three-point line. He'd just throw his chest into him, and he would just zigzag back and forth and be like, well, what am I supposed to do? Where do I go now?
He got switched on to Jaylen Brown a couple times even and stood him up.
He did. And Brown cooked him a couple of times too.
Did.
Now, Brown is 6'7", and that's a huge mismatch for Keyonte, and that's not where Keyonte is going to be.
But he held his own is my point.
Keyonte truly dominated a game, and the third quarter was as dominant a game as I've seen from a guard on both sides of the floor for a very long time from a Jazz player. So, where I would have told you without Walker Kessler, with how badly the team had played on Friday night and on Sunday in Charlotte and in Phoenix, that they were going to lose all the rest of the games on this road trip. And until Walker comes back, I don't know how the Jazz are going to win a game. Keyonte just said, well, if I'm the best player on the floor, you've got a chance every night. And he did that last night in Boston on the second night of a back-to-back. Now, this is not the championship-level Celtics. They don't have that extra gear. They are missing a ton of talent from last season's team. Some of them aren't even on the roster anymore. But that was a real sign of growth of not, Keyonte George got hot and made a bunch of threes and beat teams that we've seen him beat before. It was not that at all. That was a true, under control game takeover that, if he can do that consistently, changes the trajectory of the Jazz's rebuild.
I think the circumstance is relevant as well. Second night of a back-to-back and on the road for Keyonte in particular. Because I watched Brent Castile come in as a freshman at the University of Utah and said, I'm going to win the Heisman. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff. I've heard Donovan Mitchell, and no offense to Brent Castile, who turned out to be a fine player, but my point is it's one thing to say that on day one, and it's quite another to do it. I heard Donovan Mitchell talk about being better on defense 50 times.
Every month of his career?
Certainly every media day at camp.
Yeah.
I'm coming in with a defensive edge, and I'm going to get out there and are you?
Right.
It's one thing to say. So you and I sat down with Keyonte George at media day, and we heard all the right things. Mm-hmm. And we've heard all the buzz, which I've heard the buzz from that building before be
absolutely
completely inaccurate.
Yep.
But we heard the buzz. We heard about the offseason. We heard about him being here. We heard about that trip to Dallas with the teammates, and we heard it. And it's okay, all right, that's terrific. And now through the first 6 games, how many games now? 7?
7 games.
He's 1,000% delivered on all of that. Now, it's
and
one thing
more.
to do it, and more. And it's one thing to do it through 7 as opposed to 82, and he's got a long way to go. But the whole thing with Keyonte was, are you going to play? Are you going to play every night? And if the answer to that is yes, and he's figured out a way to do it, yeah, well, hey, let's see where it goes.
And you don't mean show up on the floor suiting up the way a lot of guys miss games. Keyonte plays a lot of games. You mean actually play the game the right way.
Play hard. Play like your hair's on fire.
Play like you're on a team, not you're on Team Keyonte.
And you're a leader. And and he's shown all of that. Second night of a back-to-back, everybody's dragging. That first quarter, I said to Coach Lacombe, man, it looks like they're playing in mud.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody had any bounce. And they had a really embarrassing first half, 36 points. I mean, they went into the locker room with some shame. And to have somebody say, okay, well, we're not going to go out like that.
Like that?
And they didn't.
Come out and cook let Rusty cook, come out and cook in the third quarter is truly impressive. Can I tell you my big takeaway?
Uh-huh.
Or at least the most funny / interesting thing. Not interesting, but have you ever had the yips putting? Just the yips. Or even just golfing.
Doing
the
anything.
swing
Yeah,
is
yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's a mental thing, whatever. I've got a hitch in my putt. Christian, you've had the yips? Imagine having the yips and then all of a sudden, you're playing a scramble or something and winning the tournament comes down to your putt and then actually making it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever seen a big miss more layups than Yusuf Nurkic.
Nurkic's got to be shooting 40% this year.
It was just point blank.
Yep.
And think about this, Ben. This isn't Christian shooting point blank layups. No offense to Christian. How tall are you?
5'8" on a good day.
Nurk is 7 feet tall.
7 feet, 290.
I mean, the amount of air that needs to go, the amount of distance that needs to go from Nurk's hands into the basket is 3 inches.
Yeah, not far. Yeah.
And I think he missed every single layup that game. And then all of a sudden, Key misses what was a good shot.
Yeah, tough fadeaway, but a good shot.
Tough fadeaway, but a good shot. He missed it. Nurk bullied Nimi Keita. Poor Nimi Keita got veteraned on that one.
An armpit full of the Bosnian beast.
Yeah, sure did. Poor Nimi Keita. And then for Nurkic to grab that ball and lay it in for the win. I was can't believe he made it.
Yeah, honestly. And you thought I was being facetious saying he's shooting 40% from the floor. He's shooting 39% from the floor. He's 7 feet tall. Yeah, he is dropping the ball in the basket, and he's only hitting it 4 out of 10 times.
It's the dangest thing.
Yeah, he did.
And it's happened a lot this season, obviously, but it seemed like it happened a lot last night. I mean, the whole team was missing layups in the first half.
Yep.
But Nurk missed so many layups, and then to get the game-winning layup, it's like, hey, way to go, man. You may have had the yips all 17 previous holes, but when you needed it on 18, bam, you knocked that thing down. Nailed it.
So, fun game. That was one of the things I thought we expected to see more of this season compared to last year was fun games, and they've delivered on some of that. Obviously, the first game was fun when they blew out the Clippers, and then Lowry Markkanen scoring 50 is fun for fans. And then last night I thought was just a really impressive effort. And Keyonte George is becoming somebody who's worth tuning in for. And, one of the hard things, if you've been a Jazz fan, I think over the last few years, is like you just want to tune in and see the rookies play, and that comes with a lot of ups and downs, and some guys don't ever come through, and some guys, just the process is really slow. Keyonte is now doing it on an every night basis that if you're a Jazz fan, there's something redeeming you're watching every night.
Yeah, you need somebody to set the tone with energy. The example I'll give you, Darren Williams, when he was here, was great, but his energy on the road was so crappy. And if you go look at the Jazz, those teams' road versus home records, the difference is stark.
Yeah.
And it's because he didn't always bring his normal energy on the road, and then the team took like a cue from that, and they lost a ton of games they never should have lost because they were just blah on the road. And he did. He set the tone for the team. And at home, I don't know if he just responded better to positive energy or what, but at home he was, almost a different player. Somebody's got to set the energy tone for the team on a back-to-back in Boston. And Keyonte George did it. Good for him. I mean, somebody's got to do it. And Hardy was complaining about energy the night before, complaining about it. And so Keyonte did something about it. I think it's cool. Last night's game was awesome for him. That was a great win, and he had a huge role in it. The best player on the floor, as you put it, certainly was at times.
31 points again, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He's on the season. He's averaging 23 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. So he's really putting it all together.
And going to the line 13 times.
Yeah, he's just living at the free throw line, that's the big difference. I mean, that is what has changed in his game, because if you look at him for the season, I think he's still below 30% from the three-point line, which he is usually kind of a slow starter shooting the ball. That will come up to around 34, 35. If he does that and maintains that 23-point per game average and 8 assists, and he can shoot in the mid to low 30s, hopefully not 31 if you're a Jazz fan, but in the mid 30s. If he gets to the free throw line that way, he becomes very much a De'Aaron Fox type of offensive player, and De'Aaron Fox is an all-star and, just got a max contract from the Spurs, and he's a much better defensive player right now than De'Aaron Fox has shown. And De'Aaron Fox is fine, but what Keyonte's doing is really pretty high caliber on the defensive side of the ball. I just didn't see that coming. One of my big predictions this year was that Walt Clayton was going to steal the Jazz's starting point guard job by midseason, because as much hype as I'd heard about Keyonte, I'd heard it last year. I heard a lot about it coming into camp. We saw him have a great summer league his first year in the NBA, and you just never saw the follow-through. And it's not just follow-through. It almost looks like an unfamiliar player. I mean, it's not just, he's polished some of the things that he used to do. He's doing things he never pretended to do in the past. And there's still some, off-the-dribble three-point shooting that is there, but it's not reckless. How would Keyonte George take over a game last year or 2 years ago? He would always try and shoot the Jazz back into it. Took 5 threes last night. Took 16 shots overall. That's a pretty modest performance to score 31 points, and it's because he lived at the free throw line. It was an impressive performance. The Jazz are going to have chances to win games the way they did last night if he continues to play that way throughout the year.
I talked to, Coach and I did, CJ Miles on the pregame show.
How was CJ?
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he's been good on the broadcast.
Oh man, he was really great. What a nice guy. I mean, he was nice when he was here. I shouldn't be surprised that he comes back after 16 years in the NBA, by the way.
He carved out a great career.
And is still a nice guy. But I asked him about Keyonte and his dad. And
because he's Keontae's godfather. Forgot about that.
Yeah, they have that relationship. And it was cool to watch him kind of light up a little bit. You can tell there's some pride there. But then he talked about all the things he's doing right. And all the stuff we're just talking about now and how it's clicked in for him. And CJ was interesting because he said, listen, I played every single role pretty much throughout my life and throughout 16 years in the NBA. And he could tell you a lot of stuff. That's why he said, he's coaching an AAU team, and he's like, hey, I'll still be in coaching because I can tell you. I've been there. I've done it. But every role, I've played it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was really good. I don't get a chance to hear him on TV. We see it.
Yeah. No, he's great. He really understands the game. Obviously, he played for that long and can actually talk about it. It's fun.
All right, stay tuned. We'll get to top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben on a Tuesday. That means one thing. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Hit it, Christian.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the 3. He hits. Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. We're hooking you up with a pair of tickets to go see the Jazz and the Timberwolves. Go see Rudy coming up on Monday the 10th at Delta Center. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Time for the top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, BYU basketball beat Villanova in Las Vegas. AJ Dybantsa had a big night.
Outside of poor free throw shooting, was he 2 of 7 from the line, which is unusual, but also maybe where a little bit of nerves popped up. I thought he was amazing. Honestly, I thought AJ was really incredible, and I haven't seen a ton of him play. I've watched a little bit of the U19 stuff and, kind of clips here and there. But I thought the most under control I've seen him play. My one knock on AJ as a younger player that I'd seen, he just kind of played a little bit loose. He played a little bit outside of his body, meaning, honestly, his dribble was too wide, silly things like that. He just looked really tight, in a good way. He looked really in control in this game. Finished with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He was the best player on the floor. And then late, when they needed a bucket, they went to him, and he delivered. It was really impressive. 1 3-point attempt, he made it, but I love that he wasn't just saying, well, I'll just cash it in, mail it in, just gonna take a bunch of threes, whatever. I'm still going to be a top 3 pick next year. I thought it was a great debut.
He is going to have no problem getting to the rim, it would seem. I think in the NBA, he might have to round out his game a tad. In the Big 12, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's so athletic and he's big, and he's going to have no problem getting to the rim, I think.
And also, we mentioned this last year, and nothing has changed. Richie Saunders is a great player. Rob Wright looks like a pretty good player. We'll see. He was not efficient last night. Still kind of calls his number a little bit too much, in my opinion. The most important player on BYU is Keita, outside of AJ Dybantsa. Having a big that is that athletic, that can set screens like that understands kind of all the nuances of being like a big guy. You don't get to do it. If Christian's busy, we don't get to do it, and I don't want to say it. I didn't mean to say it. Is so important and so rare at this level. There are not many guys who can do what Keita does. He doesn't need touches. He's fine just being big and athletic and running to the rim and creating gravity with that. And if he does it, it will make AJ's life really easy. He will get to the rim at will as long as Keita is on the floor with him.
I don't know him. I don't know if you've met him or whatever. Yeah, I know some people that know him, but he plays basketball with a lot of joy, it seems, and I wonder if he approaches life that way. For people who know him, if he's just one of those guys that just has a smile on his face all the time and seems to enjoy what he's doing, whatever that may be. But he certainly plays basketball that way. And I'm not saying he doesn't put on a grimace or,
sure. He's got a lot of fire.
Right, yeah, that's not what I'm saying. But it seems like even when he's playing with fire, it seems like he's having a good time. I don't know. I'd be curious to talk to somebody who knows him better if he approaches life that way. But he seems to approach basketball that way.
BYU as a team did not play particularly well, especially shooting the ball, just 39% from the floor, 29% from three, and 14 of 21 from the free throw line. Again, a lot of those misses were from A.J. Dybantsa. But they were in control of that game. Villanova played well. They had a chance to win it and couldn't quite get the big basket when they needed to late in the game. But BYU is going to be a really good roster. And A.J., I mean, every game is probably going to be the worst he's going to be. You know, he's going to get better every night, and game's going to slow down for him. He's going to figure more and more out of what he can do at this level, and I don't think there's a lot of things he won't be able to.
Yeah, college basketball start of the season is always clunky. I don't know if Villanova is going to be any good.
We don't know.
It kind of doesn't matter, honestly. But I think BYU has a lot of potential if they put it together. And Kevin Young proves that he's a good coach again. I mean, I say prove like he hasn't done it before. He was terrific last year. But if he can, stitch it together and find out what works, BYU has a ton of potential. There's no doubt.
Darren Peterson for Kansas made his debut, 21 points last night, just like A.J. Dybantsa. Cam Boozer plays tonight. Koa Pete, who was a top 15 recruit at Arizona, had 31 points as a true freshman in his debut last night. We've talked about how good this draft class is and why the Jazz, even though they won last night, are not going to fight too hard to lose their draft pick to the Thunder.
Oh, that Pete fella is quite good.
He's the real deal. And
we watched that whole game in the command center.
If you go back and you remember the Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker draft, and they were thinking, oh, this thing's loaded. There's two guys at the top, and then out of nowhere, Joel Embiid jumped in and was the best player of the group, minus some back and foot injuries. Got to keep an eye on that. We can talk about Boozer and Dybantsa and Peterson, but that doesn't mean somebody else can't jump into this conversation. Again, it's why having a high draft pick in this year's draft is going to be still, I think, very important for the Jazz. But great performance from AJ last night.
And then the Utes ended up beating San Jose State.
Yeah, that's a good first game.
84-75. I have no idea how good San Jose State is.
No, but that's not. With all due respect to my Griffins, you didn't play Westminster.
Yeah, why do you got to slander Westminster just because they took a 110-54 L in Logan?
Well, it's better than what happened to Boise State, who lost to Hawaii Pacific.
D2.
79-78.
That's a tough L.
Oh, you guys lost to Hawaii. That's rough.
No. Hawaii directional.
Hawaii Pacific. I guess they got to be better than Hawaii Atlantic, but still, that's a rough loss.
It's a long flight. They're in the ACC now.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Number 2, L.J. Martin expected to play this weekend against Texas Tech.
Per Pete Thamel, about 20 minutes ago, BYU tailback L.J. Martin is expected to play this week at number 9 Texas Tech. He practiced well on Monday and is in line to play Saturday. Martin is BYU's leading rusher with just under 800 yards.
And it was the same thing with Jack Kelly, right? No offense to L.J. Martin, I think it's maybe more important for Jack Kelly to play.
Okay.
I think it's really going to be hard to run the ball against Texas Tech no matter who's back there. Again, no offense to L.J. Martin, and watch him go run for $150 and totally make me look stupid. I hope he does it. But I think if the Cougs are going to move the ball, I think it's up to the Bear. I mean, we've seen Utah's running attack.
Mm-hmm. It's elite. Truly, it's an elite running game.
Could not run the ball against Texas Tech.
Not even a little bit.
I think the likelihood of BYU having a lot of success on the ground is probably pretty low. So if they're going to put up 21 points, I think the Bears got to sling it a little bit.
The difference is, though, you cannot load the box against BYU.
Because, yeah, that's true. No, that's a great point by you.
If Chase Roberts and Parker Kingston are in
they'll make you pay.
Solo coverage, they will absolutely kill you. Yeah. So that's where BYU's really good and
maybe
authentic.
That's the difference. Yeah.
And maybe does have the ability to move the ball that way on the ground, whether it's Bear or whether it's L.J. Martin. But I'm glad this isn't going to come down to, these guys didn't play or this isn't available or, right. That's why this game had that outcome. Whatever happens this Saturday, I want to see a fully loaded BYU against a fully loaded Texas Tech team. This is the game of the Big 12 so far, of the Big 12 season. So really excited for it.
DJ and PK had a Big 12 guest on this morning. And I think he does a tune-in radio show about the Big 12. He seemed fairly optimistic about the possibility. He wasn't saying take it to the bank of 3 teams getting in
to the playoff.
Because the ACC is so bad.
It is.
And then he talked about how let's see, what was the scenario he laid out was basically if What? He said if BYU, even if they lose and then lose again, they would have an argument to get in, and so would Utah because they would be red hot and blowing everybody out. And you could say the same if BYU wins and then wins again. You probably could say then that Texas Tech's out. But if Texas Tech wins in the championship game, you can make an argument for a one-loss BYU team. What would that be? A one-loss, two-loss Texas Tech team and a two-loss Utah team.
If BYU wins out and Texas Tech is in the Big 12 title game, Texas Tech finishes the season with 3 losses, and that's probably good for Utah.
That he didn't mention that scenario specifically, but that would be a scenario for 2, because at that point
Right.
Texas Tech would be out.
Texas Tech is out, but Utah, even though they lost to Texas Tech, finishes the season with 2 losses, and yes, has won.
Has a much better
5,
argument.
6 straight, and their only losses are to top 25 teams, including if BYU wins out, they're going to be the number 4 ranked team in the country.
Right.
And that's suddenly not a bad loss
They'll
at all.
probably have a bye or whatever.
Yeah, and it was a 4-point loss on the road. We can't remember what the final score was.
And by the way, this is all predicated on the ACC basically not getting it an
Together.
extra team.
Yeah.
And right now, UVA sits atop that conference, which is not a good look for them.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech's going to take another loss before the end of the year when they play Georgia. And it's
so-
not in conference, but it's
And
going to be a loss.
Louisville's going to lose again, too, I would bet.
Yeah, and Miami's in a free fall.
Well, Miami's not even part of the
Mario!
conversation. He's not even part of the conversation
What
anymore.
you do?
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more Jacob Ben coming up next. Oh, have we not got to 3? I thought there was 3.
Why would that be 3?
Oh, what's next?
Number 3, JJ Peterka returning to Buffalo tonight.
Donor has been. This has been a good trade. Kesselring and Doan have been impactful in Buffalo, where they needed more guys. They just needed more guys that could play in the lineup and be consistent, and fewer stars at the top. And I think on the flip side, the Mammoth needed more skill on the offensive side of the puck. And I think it was honestly, it's been a very good a good trade for both teams so far.
Well, the Sabres still stink, right?
Yeah. But the Mammoth have lost 2 straight. They, and it's to good teams. It's the Oilers and Tampa Bay, who have not started the season particularly well, but have a ton of talent. See if they can right the ship tonight in Buffalo to begin another long road trip.
I told you I have a good buddy named Trevor, not Brandon, who is a big LeSabres fan. And talking to him is really funny because he is jumping on the Mammoth train, too. He's got, shares season tickets, and he's a big hockey guy in general. But it's so funny to talk to him about the LeSabres because he's very pessimistic.
I believe it.
He's very pessimistic about their whole operation. And apparently there's a lot of data to back that up. So, yeah, Peterka should be eager to make a statement. But the Donor and Kessel King, as you called him.
Not just me. Everyone called him that. He had a crown.
Including Jake.
Including me.
Including
All
Jake,
right,
yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Jacob Ed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's a much-needed bye week for the Utes as they get set for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you about Win Ticket Wednesday. You can win big every week with Win Ticket Wednesday. This week, you can get tickets to Step Into the Magic at Holiday Lights at the Ballpark at America First Square, a brand new immersive holiday tradition opening on November the 14th. Reserve your tickets at theballpark@afs.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day tomorrow for your chance to win. Ben, this can't be true. This might be fake news. I'll have to listen to this.
Okay.
Paul, this is the headline. Paul Pierce says the only way to really know if a girl loves you is to cheat on her and see how she reacts.
Christian, your thoughts?
I don't know if that's a great strategy. Christian?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's how you figure out if she's quote unquote ride or die, right? She's gonna stick with you
Now let me ask you this.
regardless.
Is there a better way than that?
No, that's the only way to do it.
Maybe start with flowers or something. I don't know.
No, that's how you become a simp, as the kids like to say. No, I want I think he's right. I think based on recent events with Paul Pierce, including being fired from ESPN by going live on social media while he was clearly under the influence of something with dancers in the background.
Yes, and not like modern dancers.
And then as recently as 2 weeks, yeah, right. This is not Martha Graham out there with the crew putting on a show. And then a month ago, saying he fell asleep in his car in a traffic jam in California when actually it was a DUI and he's been arrested and charged with that. Yeah, maybe Paul Pierce is not quite the life advice coach you need to be looking for.
Okay, to take off on that point, which I like.
But a broken clock is right twice a day.
Be careful who you take advice from. I will say from my perspective, listen, whatever lifestyle you want to live, I honestly don't care, but have a little discretion. We don't need to know.
Okay.
You know, Paul.
You don't need to reveal all your trade secrets.
A pretty wild lifestyle. You've been pretty forward about it. I don't think you need to be. I had a buddy in college whose parents were swingers. You know, whatever you want to do, but they weren't putting it up on a billboard.
Sure.
They weren't. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You could just. There's many people on social media, on the Snap Talk out there. You have a little discretion. You don't need to share it all. Yeah. Live whatever lifestyle you want. Mm-hmm. You don't need to snap it out 24/7. Don't go live on the Insta, whatever you're talking about, when you've got the modern dancers in the
background
and the blunts.
Yeah.
It's not hard to not hit that button.
I do like the idea of Christian. You ever been cheated on? Don't answer that question. You've only been with your girlfriend, right? Your wife right now is your longtime girlfriend. Am I right with that?
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah.
So don't answer that question. That really brutal conversation of we've got to talk, or something happened, or I found something out, and he or she is like, well, Paul Pierce told me I had to.
Paul Pierce said this was the strategy.
I needed to know if you actually love me,
and this is how you do it.
I learned from former Washington Wizards wing Paul Pierce. Former Los Angeles Clippers forward, Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Former Kansas star, Paul Pierce.
If that's your strategy to find love, I guess more power to you, but you don't need to talk about it. You don't need to. You don't need to do.
She had a lot of tears. I told her Paul Pierce told me I was supposed to do it.
By the way, how many dates is Paul going to get now?
Well, he has money. And that's not saying that he can afford to buy dates. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's a John?
Yeah. Yes. 100% yes.
John Pierce.
And yeah, those women don't care that he's cheating on them.
John Paul Pierce. Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
All right.
It's transactional.
Well,
that's fine.
Okay. Well, we got to the bottom of that, I suppose. Christian, a local player in the NFL is on the move.
Couple of big trades.
NFL trade line later today, 2 p.m.
Trade deadline.
Yeah. Trade deadline. Rashid Shaheed got moved. Former Weber State Wildcat going from the Saints to Seattle. Sauce Gardner, Jets standout corner, just got traded to the Colts.
For 2 first-round picks. It's a big trade.
Dude, I am telling you. Did you see Darnold slinging it this week?
Yeah.
Or your boy Daniel Jones? Obviously, these two teams, the Colts making moves. If I'm an NFL team, I'm farming the bozo franchise's leavings. I use this comparison with a guest. I'm mining the tailings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the Jets move off you, I'm giving you a second chance.
Yeah.
If the Browns give up on you, I'm kicking the tires.
The Giants losing Daniel Jones, who's turning into a borderline MVP candidate, and the running back with the
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. It's a real kick in the chest.
And you know what? The Giants have always really been poorly run, and they've covered it up a little bit with a couple of Super Bowls here and there, but it doesn't mean that they are a great franchise, and they're better than the Jets, so that helps too.
Put one in the win column for daughters taking over ownership of their NFL franchise from their fathers. The Allens that own Seattle still, right? Have done a decent job keeping that thing afloat.
Not with the Blazers, but
not with the Blazers. They just sold the Blazers, but they've kept the Seahawks somewhat relevant when they really could have collapsed. And what the Colts are doing right now, post Jim Irsay, is really impressive. That group of his daughters, I think it's 3 of them. At least it's one of his daughters. Is
Well,
done a nice
the one
job.
is the face of it, but it is all 3 of them, I think, have a role. But I got to tell you, I love that you brought this up because when I first saw her, like the video of her on the sidelines, I thought, okay, Daddy's girl is kicking in the door, and we're doing this my way, you know? And then you know what I saw, Ben? She pulled out a dang notebook, and she started taking notes. And I was like, okay, well, this is either somebody who's like, okay, I'm going to know this thing if I'm going to do this job, or this is somebody taking notes on, well, we've got to change the brand of hot dog at the concession stand. And it appears that she is taking an active role in like a truly positive way.
Yeah, the Colts are one of the great stories in the NFL this year.
The old man was a bit of a wingnut. He had his good moments and his bad. But he wasn't a bad owner. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Good moments and bad,
Yeah.
but he wasn't necessarily a bad owner. He was pretty good at running that franchise. And I think it's a cool story because you see a lot of it the other way, where the next generation takes it over and is just morons. See that guy in with the Chargers.
Yeah.
And it appears that she's not that, so that's cool. And if the Allens are running the Seahawks well, good for them.
Yep.
They did not do a good job with the Blazers.
No, good to get rid of that team.
Yeah, that's better for the NBA. I mean, she hired Chauncey Billups after all.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah. Yikes. All right, stay tuned.
Power pull!
Is next. It's Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.